Hey guys, what's going on? It is Cruz Ave here, and in today's video we are talking about a very interesting fundamental concept of FIFA, which I call the FIFA Meta Game. But it's not the meta game in the typical sense of which skill move is the most overpowered, which finishes should you do, which passes are good, etc. But instead it's about getting into the opponent's head and being one step ahead of him in order to make better decisions and outplay him. This is a somewhat theoretical video, and at first glance it might seem stupid to look at FIFA the way I'm about to present you, but actively thinking about it or not, every player who plays the game applies this concept all the time at some level, and I'm breaking it down into its parts to help players who feel stuck and can't really seem to improve, and it feels like they can never get a read on their opponent while their opponent seems to always have a read on them. Here's a simple example for what I'm talking about. I moved the keeper in this situation to cover the obvious far post finish, but the opponent outsmarted me and finished near post instead to score. So he was one step ahead of me in the meta game. So fundamentally, FIFA in defense is about understanding what your opponent is trying to do and countering it. And in offense, understanding what your opponent thinks you want to do and surprise him by doing something different. That's the FIFA meta game. Another simple example would be the opponent running on the wing and you cutting him off. He will probably turn inside to avoid the tackle, but you understand he is trying to do that and anticipate this turn, so you win the ball easily. On the other hand, you're running on the wing and the opponent is cutting you off. You know that he will think that you're going to cut inside, so instead you keep running straight and get past the defender, since he is slowing down to defend that turn towards the center. So in both instances you were one step ahead of him. Situations like these happen almost every moment of the game and everywhere on the pitch. In fact, I never collected so many scenes per game for a video topic ever before, which itself showed me how big the implications of understanding this topic are. And I can't go into detail for every single example, even though I would like to, but to still analyze them briefly, I used yellow arrows to indicate the logical but rather obvious solution, while green arrows show an alternative that's one step ahead. Before we get into the different stages of the meta game, I want to tell you that you should definitely download our The Guide Plus app for free if you're looking to improve at FIFA 22. On The Guide Plus you can find in-depth tutorial videos, structured courses and interactive quizzes on the topics you struggle with most. We are currently running a Christmas bundle offer as well, where you get 2 hours of individual coaching with a private coach, as well as a 6-month The Guide Plus premium membership that will allow you full access to all the videos, as well as group coaching sessions, our Discord server, gameplay analysis and more. And so this is the perfect combination of having some personal advice one-on-one on your game, and then also having all the educational content at your hands, and together with your coach you can thereby design your individual training plan to improve step by step. With the Christmas bundle you can save over 20% right now, so if you're interested in the offer, then check out the first link in the description and make sure to download the Guide Plus, join the next level learning experience and check it out for yourself. So let's take a look at the different stages of the meta game. The first stage we already briefly talked about. This is the easiest one and it's about being one step ahead. You know what the opponent is trying to do in attack or what he wants to defend against. And the rule of thumb here is that he will do the most obvious or easy action in attack, and he will defend against the most obvious and easy option in defense. An example for you defending would be the opponent having a good run from a striker, and so since you're guessing he will go for that easy option and play the through ball, you're selecting the center back and cover that run in order to win the ball. Another example from build-up would be that the opponent is playing forward and his striker is open in a very nice position in order to play a pass towards him, and naturally the opponent goes for that option. But you select the defender beforehand already and anticipate aggressively to intercept that pass. Now when it gets to you being the attacking player, being one step ahead means not doing the obvious or easy, and that's where a lot of players struggle. They have a fundamental understanding of the game and recognize promising spots for through balls or 1-2 passes, skill moves, etc. But you have to understand that good defenders will recognize them too and defend accordingly. So instead of playing the very obvious through ball, which we just talked about, you, for example, could continue running towards goal to create pressure, and suddenly new passing options arise and you force the opponent into an uncomfortable defending situation he didn't anticipate for and isn't used to, because not a lot of players force him into this spot. Another example would be the opportunity to play a 1-2 pass with your other striker, which is similar to the build-up example we just had. Your striker's in a great position, but instead of doing that, you accelerate forward and break inside the box to get a shot off, and you will be surprised how well something this simple can work, and it's all due to the opponent anticipating for the easy option and committing to it pretty heavily, because that's what 99% of players do, but you're there to punish him. So it's really important to understand that opponents decent at defending will know what you're up to, and if you take a look at some of these examples, it will become clear that even a very promising opportunity can often be easily defended if the opponent commits heavily to it, and you would have been better off doing something different to surprise the defender. Now, it would be pretty boring if this was all there is to it, so let's take it one step further into the second stage. And this one applies to games against advanced players, and it's necessary to get up to this level if you want to stop stagnating and get up into higher divisions and ranks. Here, the saying would go something like, I know that he knows I will defend the obvious for defending, and I know that he knows I will not do the obvious in attack. A concrete example for defending would be an opponent who does the already mentioned running straight instead of cutting inside. He knows that you are probably defending the obvious, so he applies stage 1 and does the opposite. He runs straight. But because you're cracked from watching the guide, you're already at stage 2, and so you defend him running straight by continuing to cover that run, and you win the ball. Because again, you were one step ahead and knew what he was trying to do. For attack, it gets even more fun, because let's take the same example. You want to run straight, but you notice every time you try that, the opponent is already there to defend. You can't surprise him with stage 1 of the meta game. And this means you need to take it one step further and do the obvious again. Cut inside, because in this case, for this specific opponent, that's what he isn't anticipating and what will surprise him, because he's so advanced already that the simple can be the genius again. Obviously, this could be taken further and further, similar to if you would play many rounds of rock, paper, scissors against the same person, trying to get into each other's head and break your patterns. And the charm of FIFA, and especially FIFA esports, is that at pro level, this game is played back and forth, and the players are constantly trying to find the level and therefore the move that surprises the opponent. And developing the right read for every single situation comes from experience and playing against many different opponents at different skill levels. At some point, you will develop a gut for the right decisions. Obviously, you will still be wrong in a lot of cases, but what helps is analyzing your opponent early into the match and trying to figure out at what level of the meta game he is, and then you can take it one step further from there. Against someone who doesn't defend you cutting inside because he just defends poorly, he doesn't know the basics of the game, cut inside, do the simple thing and the effective thing and score. Against someone who defends you cutting inside, run straight, do the advanced thing to counter. And then against someone who is at an advanced level and defends you running straight, you want to use the simple skill move again, go towards the center, cut inside, and that will then surprise this player. Last but not least, I want to talk about not overcomplicating things, which might seem an ironic statement after the somewhat theoretical explanations and all these reasonings I gave for decision making. But I still wanted to make this point because it is an important one, especially when you are attacking, because there are situations where the simple and the obvious is so simple and obvious because it can't be defended anymore. The wide open through ball, the free shot on goal, whatever it is, if there's literally no chance for the opponent anymore to defend the obvious goal, then go for it. Don't do something else just because you think you need to be one step ahead at all times. And once again, this comes from experience, knowing which sort of move, for example a through ball, can still be defended and therefore you are better off doing something less obvious, or which through ball is just, too promising to miss out on. Now I'm interested in today's question of the day to hear from you guys how you like this video topic and style. This more general approach covering a topic that has implications on many different aspects of FIFA instead of going into detail on one singular thing, or maybe having a top 5 tips with very specific advice. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see more videos like this, or what other topics you're interested in. And with that being said, subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss out on any further videos of the guide. Leave a like to support the channel, it helps us out much more than you think, and I'll talk to you in the next one. See you then, much love, peace.